Okay, so I want to tell you guys about the first time that I heard God's voice. Let's go. I get a lot of questions about what it sounds like to hear from God, what his voice sounds like, and things of that nature. And this is the best way that I can describe it. Backstory: I was raised Christian my whole life, prayed, went to church, read the Bible. I would hear other people mentioning that they could hear God's voice, and I would hear people say all the time, like, the Lord told me this, the Lord told me that. And I remember specifically always praying that I would be able to hear clearly. Like, please give me a clear yes or no. Like, you're praying these things. And I just thought maybe I wasn't Christian enough, which is such a lie from the pit of hell, by the way. Or wasn't good enough, or I wasn't in the Word enough to hear from God. So that's the backstory. This particular experience happened to me about 5 years ago. My husband and I had been married for 7 years at this point, and I will say that throughout the 7 years, it was a pretty miserable experience. Um, I remember crying out to God to change my marriage, to fix this, to fix that. It just didn't seem like it was working. I tried everything. I tried therapy. I tried acting this way, acting that way, being nice, being not nice. I mean, anything that you think of when your marriage is just not it. I had just decided that I was going to end it. I wanted a divorce. I had tried everything. God was silent. And I just felt like, okay, I'm going to take matters into my own hands, get a divorce, move on with my life. Fast forward to me moving out. I had my mom and my business partner at the time, who was also my best friend, and they came to help me move out. So we moved the entire day. Um, it's kind of a somber day. I really didn't want to get divorced. I wanted it to change. I just didn't know how it was going to change. At the end of the day, my mom and my former business partner slash best friend, they leave, and I'm all alone in this apartment. I remember sitting on the couch, and I got an email from this former business partner slash best friend who had just helped me move out of my house on that exact day. And she sent me an email saying that she no longer wanted to be a partner in the business, and it was too much for her, and she wanted out. So I had just lost my husband, my business partner slash my literal best friend, and all of the people in my life who up until that point had been just like major pillars of my personality and who I was, and just like how I functioned. And all of a sudden I was quite literally left with nobody, not a single person. To say the least, it was probably one of the worst days slash times of my life. And I remember going to bed that night, and I woke up a few hours after I'd went to bed, and my head is just racing. I started to have the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life. And I'm somebody who in the past has struggled with anxiety and severe panic attacks. So I know what a panic attack feels like. This was just another level of panic attack, and I was completely by myself. I remember going out to my living room in the apartment that I moved into, and I was on the floor in the fetal position. I was shaking. I was just weeping. I couldn't control, my thoughts. I just sensed the presence of God. And I won't say that I was unfamiliar with his presence, but it was very uncommon that I felt a presence like that so strongly. So immediately I'm praying. I'm praying and I'm saying, why am I here? Why did you allow this to happen? Why couldn't I have a perfect marriage? Why did my business partner slash best friend leave me with this business, and now I have no idea, how to run by myself? I've had her the whole time. And I felt like everything in my life was just crumbling down. And I remember telling him, this is your fault. Like, I tried. I spent my whole life praying for this. I've gone to church. I read my Bible. I prayed that you would fix it. Like, yada yada. And in all ways, essentially, I was arguing with God. And I remember so clearly, he said to me, Ashley, I have never left you or forsaken you. You have not allowed me to move in your life. And it's not so much of a voice, it's just a knowing in your entire mind, body, and soul that your creator is speaking to you. And that's the best way I can describe it. It doesn't sound like, a voice per se. It's kind of a download. So anyway, he said, "You have never allowed me to step in. You've been holding on to the steering wheel, holding on to the reins, and at the same time saying, God, I want you to take this from me, but I'm not letting my grip off of it. So I'm going to try to fix it. The best humanly way I know how." And ultimately that night, we went back and forth. I didn't trust him that he could even fix it. I thought it was so bad. It's so bad you can't even fix it. And he said, "Do you give me permission to fix it? And do you trust me to fix it?" And I can distinctly remember in that moment just being like, you know what? I have nothing else to lose. None of this has gone the way that I needed it to go. So yeah, God, you can have it. Like, if you can change it, whatever. Here it is. Kind of indifferently, not really even having faith that it was going to happen. But you guys, he just requires a little mustard seed. And there was a little mustard seed in me. And I was so low at that point that I truly thought, like, this is really just my last option, right? Just completely release everything to him. So that night I said, my marriage is yours. My business is yours. My body is yours. My mind is yours. Everything that I own, that I have access to, I dedicate it back to you. Like, do with that what you can, pretty much. And within 2 months, we had called the divorce off. We, nullified all the paperwork, whatever. Called the divorce off. Within 6 months, I was pregnant with our first child. Had been previously told that I could not get pregnant because I have PCOS. In the last 5 years, he has renewed our marriage to the point where it does not feel real how much I love my husband and how much joy I have from him being in my life, and how our child has just like created this bond and this like family that I always wanted, that I never really ever thought I could have. So anyway, long story short, of course, it's been 10 minutes of me talking. God cares so much about free will. It's very important to him. The Holy Spirit is a gentleman. He is not going to do anything that you won't allow him to do. So if you feel like you can't hear him and you try and try and try, have you really relinquished all control and taken a step back? Quite literally, Jesus, take the wheel. Anyway, try it. Let me know if it works.